The $100,000 muscle trap. Why bone broth is failing your body, and the 1960s secret that fixes it. If you're sipping bone broth to protect your muscles, you're probably stuck in the $100,000 trap. Slow, weak collagen that digests poorly after 60 and gives a false sense of safety. The top 1% use a different broth that absorbs faster and actually shows up when your tissues need it. Here's the hard truth. Falls, rehab, assisted living, lost independence, that bill stacks fast. Over the next hour, I'll show you a simple swap and timing plan that protects strength, why bone broth underdelivers, the marine collagen advantage, the omega-3 recovery multiplier, and exactly how to cook, use, and pair it with movement. There's a 1960s origin clue from Japan that most people overlook, and it explains the why now for seniors. In a minute, we'll get into why muscle loss speeds up after 60 and why broth alone stalls. First, understand the stakes, because once you see them, the switch becomes obvious. The cost of muscle loss after age 60. Sarcopenia isn't just getting weaker. After 60, recovery slows, balance wobbles, and everyday tasks turn into effort. Stairs feel taller, low chairs feel deeper. A bag of groceries asks more of your grip than it used to. The hidden cost shows up as lingering soreness, cautious steps, and that quiet fear of falling that keeps you from walking as much as you should. Here's the thing most people miss. Once you move less, the decline accelerates. Less walking means fewer signals for your muscles and connective tissue to maintain themselves. That leads to more stiffness, which leads to even less movement. It's a loop. Break it early, and you keep independence. Ignore it, and the bill arrives. Copays, rehab hours, caregivers, modifications around the house, and time you can't get back. Why does this speed up after 60? Biology stacks the deck. Activity dips. Low-grade inflammation lingers. Hormones shift, and your natural collagen production drops, while existing collagen breaks down faster. That means the scaffolding around your muscles, tendons, fascia, intramuscular connective tissue repairs slower. So even with decent protein and regular exercise, results plateau because the framework isn't keeping up with the fiber growth. This clicked for me when I saw how older adults can follow the right plan, eat protein, do resistance training, yet still feel fragile. The reason is simple. Protein is the bricks, collagen is the rebar. Without rebar, the wall doesn't handle stress. With rebar, the same bricks perform better. Clinical research backs that up. Trials pairing hydrolyzed collagen peptides with resistance training report better gains in lean mass and strength than training alone, along with less post-exercise soreness. Dose matters and consistency matters. Think daily intake over 8 to 12 weeks, not random sips, and standardized peptide forms in the 5 to 15 gram range. The reason this works is absorbable collagen supports the connective matrix, so your training signal gets translated into stable function instead of temporary bumps. There's also the financial side. A single hip fracture can trigger months of costs. Hospital stays, rehab, transportation, and help at home. Even without fractures, repeated setbacks drain savings through co-treatments, supplements that don't move the needle, and time lost to recovery that should have been faster. That's the $100,000 stake over a few years of compounded little expenses and lost independence. If you've been diligent with protein and movement and still feel stuck, it's not your discipline. It's the framework lag. Now, here's where most people mess up. They try to fix scaffolding with bone broth. Warm? Yes. Predictable dose and fast absorption after 60? Not really. In the next section, I'll show you the collagen framework most people miss, and the size of the collagen pieces, that changes everything. The collagen framework, most people Mississippi. The thing most people miss is that muscle strength isn't just contractile fibers. It's fibers plus the connective matrix that transmits force without wobble. Protein rebuilds the fibers. collagen reinforces the matrix, fascia sheets, tendon insertions, and the intramuscular netting that keeps everything aligned. If that net frays, your power leaks. That's why you feel weaker even when you're hitting your protein. Why this matters more after 60. Collagen synthesis slows while breakdown speeds up. So the same workout that used to refresh you now leaves stiffness for days. This clicked for me when a client kept training, ate enough protein, but still couldn't rise from low chairs without bracing. We introduced absorbable collagen. And within weeks, soreness windows shrank and the sit-to-stand felt steadier. Same bricks, better rebar. What's the actual technique? Use hydrolyzed collagen peptides or a collagen-rich marine broth that delivers smaller fragments your gut can handle quickly. The shortcut nobody teaches is that collagen's impact is size-dependent. Long chains act like rope you can't digest well. Short peptides, especially in the low thousands of Daltons, move across the gut wall faster and show up in blood sooner. That faster plasma appearance means your tissues see the raw materials when your body is craving repair, post-activity, and overnight. Here's how to think about it. Your training is the foreman telling the crew what to build. Dietary protein delivers bricks. Collagen peptides deliver the steel. If you remember nothing else, remember this pairing: stimulus plus bricks plus rebar. People focus on the first two and wonder why the building creaks. How do you implement it? Aim for a daily, repeatable collagen source. Research-aligned intakes cluster around 5 to 15 grams of hydrolyzed collagen peptides per day for at least 8 to 12 weeks, paired with resistance work. If you're using food-first methods, that's where fish skin broth helps. More on the recipe later. Practically, put one serving near your movement session or with dinner to feed overnight repair. Add vitamin C-rich foods around those windows because it supports collagen formation: citrus, peppers, berries. Common mistakes to avoid: treating collagen as a protein replacement, chasing random doses, and expecting changes in 2 weeks. Collagen supports structure. Your total protein still matters for muscle fibers. Also, consistency is everything. Sporadic sips won't shift the matrix. And don't ignore the rest of your routine. Without a signal for movement, your body won't direct those materials into the tissues you care about. Once you nail that, everything else clicks. Which brings us to the trap most people fall into when they try to get collagen from a comforting source that sounds right but doesn't deliver what you think. The bone broth trap. Let me show you exactly how the trap works. Most people reach for bone broth, expecting a strong collagen hit. The problem starts with quantity. Per cup collagen is often too low compared with trial doses that showed results. Many homemade broths land in the low single-digit grams per serving. And that's before we talk about variability. 2 pots simmered the same way can produce totally different yields depending on bones, cartilage ratio, acidity, and cook time. One gels, one doesn't, and you don't know until it cools. That unpredictability kills your ability to hit a consistent, research-aligned intake. Now, here's where most people mess up. They assume warmth equals benefit. Comfort isn't the same as clinical support. The gelatin in bone broth is mostly long chains. Older digestion, lower stomach acid, fewer enzymes, struggles with big proteins. The reason this matters is absorption. Trials that improved lean mass and strength used hydrolyzed collagen peptides. Pre-broken into smaller fragments, your gut can move quickly and more consistently than gelatin. Traditional bone broth doesn't guarantee those small peptide sizes. So a meaningful slice of what you drink may never show up as usable building blocks at the right time. There's another wrinkle: purity and sourcing. Long simmers can concentrate whatever trace contaminants were in the bones to begin with. That doesn't mean panic. It means you need excellent sourcing and moderation, which complicates using broth as a daily, predictable dose. Add sodium control on top. and routine gets even harder. So you end up with a ritual that feels good but stalls outcomes. Warmth, hydration, a bit of electrolytes, nice. But when your scaffolding is fraying faster than it's repaired, nice isn't enough. Because collagen synthesis after 60 is already lagging, small, inconsistent, and slow to absorb gelatin doesn't close the gap. That's why people say, I've been drinking broth for months, and I still feel frail. It's not your effort, it's the form and the dose. Let me give you a quick mental model: dose, digestibility, and dependability. Bone broth misses on all three too often. Dose, usually low. Digestibility, large chains your gut doesn't love. Dependability, batch-to-batch roulette. Even if you get a gel, you don't know if you hit the range that studies used. Before we continue, you need to understand that I'm not saying bone broth is harmful. Use it as comfort food, part of soups, or a gentle hydration tool. Just don't expect it to be your scaffolding strategy. If you want your training to translate into steadier steps and faster recovery, you need smaller peptides that appear in plasma faster and in predictable amounts. The game changer nobody talks about is a broth source that naturally leans towards smaller fragments and higher reliability in a shorter cook. That's where marine collagen from fish skins steps in. It closes the size gap, improves absorption and aging digestion, and makes daily targeting more realistic. In the next section, I'll show you why those smaller pieces and faster appearance give older adults a practical edge that bone broth can't match, and how to use that edge without spending all day in the kitchen. The marine collagen advantage. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Peptide size decides whether your body can actually use collagen after 60. Fish skin collagen, when prepared as broth or hydrolyzed peptides, tends to break down into smaller fragments that your gut transports faster. Aging digestion runs with lower stomach acid and reduced protease activity. Big gelatin chains slow you down. Low molecular weight peptides move. Why this matters? Timing. After activity and overnight, tissues are primed for repair. Collagen fragments that appear in plasma sooner are the ones that get to the job on time. Marine-derived peptides in the low thousands of Daltons, roughly 2,000 to 3,500 consistently show faster uptake than long-chain gelatin in reviews of peptide pharmacokinetics. The reason this works is simple. Short, flexible chains cross the intestinal wall more efficiently, so more material reaches circulation with less digestive effort. Now, what you'll notice isn't bigger biceps. It's steadier function. Collagen doesn't directly thicken muscle fibers. It reinforces the connective architecture, tendon insertions, intramuscular lattice, fascia glides. That scaffolding keeps force transfer smooth, so the strength you already build with protein and training doesn't leak through a wobbly frame. This is why many older adults report less lingering soreness and a more confident sit-to-stand once marine peptides are in place. Another edge, small appetites. As we age, total food intake tends to drop. If your collagen source requires large volumes or heavy meals, consistency collapses. Marine collagen's absorption efficiency delivers more effect per gram. That means a cup of fish skin broth or a modest serving of hydrolyzed marine peptides can move the needle without overfilling you. Let me back up and make the why crystal clear. With age, two things happen at once. Collagen synthesis slows, and existing collagen breaks down faster. That's a double hit. If you provide smaller, quickly absorbed peptides, you reduce the lag between intake and tissue repair, tightening recovery cycles. Over weeks, those tighter cycles add up to fewer soreness days, better balance, and more freedom to train again because you're not sidelined by the last session. Here's how to use this advantage without overcomplicating it. Pick one marine source you can repeat daily, homemade fish skin broth or a vetted hydrolyzed marine collagen powder. Keep the serving modest but consistent. Place it near your movement window or with dinner to feed the night shift. Layer vitamin C rich foods around those times to support collagen formation. Stay mindful of allergies. If fish or shellfish trigger you, stop and talk to your clinician. Common mistakes to avoid. Assuming marine automatically means clean. Quality and sourcing still matter. Thinking more is always better. Steady beats, sporadic large doses. And forgetting the signal, collagen follows training. No stimulus, no targeted remodeling. Once you feel how the smaller pieces change recovery, the next question becomes obvious. Does fish skin broth actually outperform bone broth where it counts? Yield, type, reliability, and practical intake? Compare contrast. Fish skin broth versus bone broth. Let's line them up on the 4 things that matter most. Yield, type, reliability, and practicality. Yield first. Fish skins are densely packed with collagen that releases readily. With a shorter simmer, you tend to get a firmer gel and a higher collagen concentration per cup compared with many bone broths that need long cooks and still swing wildly. That denser extraction makes it easier to approach research-aligned daily totals without chasing huge volumes. You're not aiming for perfection. You're aiming for a cup that reliably contributes to that 5 to 15 gram target across your day. Type next. Marine collagen is predominantly type I, the form most relevant to the connective scaffolding that stabilizes muscle function, tendons, and fascia. Beef bones bring type I and 3. Chicken leans type 2 for cartilage. Those have value. But if your primary goal is muscle-related connective integrity, type I alignment is a plus, especially when it arrives in smaller fragments your gut can use efficiently. Reliability is where marine broth quietly wins. Bones vary. Age of the animal, cartilage ratio, mineral content, and acidity all shift your outcome. You can simmer for 20 hours and still get a thin, low collagen broth. Fish skins, by contrast, gel consistently with a 2 to 3 hour low simmer or roughly an hour under pressure. That reliability reduces guesswork and helps you hit a steady intake rhythm day after day. Practical intake ties it together. Most seniors don't want to drink liters of stock. They want 1 or 2 simple servings that count. A concentrated fish skin broth cup slots neatly into breakfast eggs, lunchtime soup, or a dinner sauce. You can cook grains in it for invisible collagen or sip it plain with lemon and ginger. Because marine peptides absorb fast, that single cup near your activity window can actually matter. Now, a few clarifications so you don't overcorrect. Chicken feet broth can deliver high collagen yield, and some people do well with it. The trade-off is absorption speed and consistency. Hydrolyzed marine peptides still tend to appear in plasma sooner and more predictably than non-hydrolyzed collagen. Store-bought options exist, but you'll need to check sodium, gel on cooling for broths, peptide grams per serving for powders, and sourcing. With homemade fish skins from a trusted fishmonger, you control flavor, dose, and purity. What about contaminants? The same sourcing rules apply everywhere. Rotate species, avoid relying on large predatory fish, and buy fresh. With fish skins, shorter simmers limit the overconcentration risk seen with all-day bone broths, and refrigeration gel tests give you a visual check that extraction happened. Here's a simple rule of thumb to remember. Fish skin broth wins on D3, density, digestibility, dependability. Density, more collagen per cup from collagen-rich skins. Digestibility, smaller fragments your gut transports quickly. Dependability, shorter, repeatable cooks that gel. Bone broth still has comfort value, minerals, and tradition, but for muscle scaffolding after 60, comfort without dose and speed doesn't cut it. And here's the payoff. When you switch your base from variable bone broth to reliable fish skin broth, you not only move closer to effective collagen intake, you also pick up a benefit bone broth lacks: entirely direct EPA and DHA from the skin. That recovery multiplier reduces lingering inflammation that blunts your training payoff. In the next section, I'll show you how that omega-3 edge stacks with collagen, so your effort finally shows up as steadier steps and faster bounce back. Bonus edge: omega-3s as the recovery multiplier. Here's the advantage bone broth can't give you: EPA and DHA riding along with the collagen from fish skin. This is the recovery multiplier that removes the handbrake most people don't notice: lingering, low-grade inflammation that blunts repair. The reason this matters is timing. After you train, or even after a busy day of chores, you want less noise in the system so your body can use protein and collagen efficiently. The thing most people miss is that older adults often live in a state of background inflammation. It's not dramatic, just enough to drag out soreness and slow connective tissue turnover. Omega-3s help calm those pathways, which frees up resources for rebuilding. Mechanistically, EPA and DHA can dampen inflammatory signaling, which means fewer damage messages and more repair messages. The payoff you feel is shorter stiffness windows and steadier movement across the day. There's another benefit. Omega-3s help your muscles respond better to protein. With age, you face anabolic resistance. Your muscle needs a louder signal from amino acids to turn on synthesis. Clinical work has shown that supplemental omega-3s can make that signal more effective in older adults. Translation: the same egg breakfast or chicken lunch does more for you when omega-3s are on board. Combine that with the connective scaffolding from collagen, and your efforts finally stack instead of canceling each other out. Now, let me show you exactly how to use this. If you're making fish skin broth, you're getting a modest, food-based dose of EPA and DHA right in the cup. It's not a high supplement dose, but it's direct EPA/DHA in the end-use forms the body needs. Plant sources rely on conversion from ALA, which is inefficient, especially with age. With fish skin, you sidestep the bottleneck and get the usable forms. Two practical windows work best. First, within an hour after activity, when tissues are primed and blood flow is up. Second, at dinner, so EPA/DHA and collagen are available through the night while repair runs in the background. Pair that broth with a protein source and a vitamin C rich side. Think grilled chicken, fish, or tofu with peppers or citrus. That combination supports synthesis, scaffolding, and inflammation control in one sitting. Common mistakes to avoid: thinking omega-3s alone will build muscle. Results are mixed when you isolate them. The power shows up when they're combined with resistance training, adequate protein, and absorbable collagen. Also, watch quality and freshness. If your broth tastes fishy or oxidized, you cooked an oily species too long or stored it poorly. Use non-oily fish, keep the simmer gentle, and rotate species for both flavor and safety. Once you put omega-3s and collagen to work together, you'll feel the system quiet down. Fewer flare-ups after ordinary tasks, less next-day hesitation to move, and a smoother ramp into your next session. And that brings us to the proof many of you want: what real trials and real communities are seeing when they combine evidence check with Japanese studies and real-world gains. Before we dive in, one critical point: collagen isn't a magic bullet. It's an amplifier when paired with training and adequate protein. The reason I'm bullish is because multiple trials and a lot of practical experience show measurable, functional gains when you use it that way. Let's start with controlled data. In a randomized double-blind trial with older men who already had sarcopenia, daily collagen peptides, plus a guided resistance program outperformed training with placebo. They gained more lean mass and saw larger jumps in quadriceps strength over 12 weeks. The effect wasn't subtle. The collagen group pulled ahead on both composition and function. The thing most people miss is that the dose and consistency were nailed. A daily, standardized peptide intake in the 15-gram range, not occasional sips. Now, here's where Japan adds context. With one of the world's oldest populations, Japanese researchers have pushed hard on practical strategies that extend independence. Their work often blends cultural dietary habits, marine foods, broths, collagen-rich preparations, with modern trial design. Reviews summarizing randomized trials consistently point to two themes: hydrolyzed collagen peptides reduce soreness and speed recovery when paired with exercise, and 8 to 12 weeks of steady intake in the 5 to 15 gram per day range is the practical window for results. Community data from Japan also reinforces the long game. People who keep moving across decades have lower odds of sarcopenia. That's not a collagen story by itself, but it explains why pairing nutrition with any form of resistance training multiplies outcomes. You provide the stimulus, collagen and protein provide the materials. Omega-3s clear the road for repair. When those pieces line up, you see fewer soreness days and better adherence, because recovery stops punishing you for doing the right thing. Two caveats so you stay grounded. First, study sizes are modest, and not every trial uses the same source. Some use bovine, some marine, and many include vitamin C. That means you should treat collagen as a smart bet with supportive evidence, not a guaranteed prescription. Second, most studies used hydrolyzed peptides, not home broth. Your fish skin broth can still align with the principle: smaller, more absorbable fragments, but you'll need consistency and attention to concentration. The fridge gel test is a simple way to know extraction happened. How do you translate this into your life today? Choose a repeatable dose you'll actually take daily. That could be 1 cup of well-gelled fish skin broth or a measured scoop of hydrolyzed marine peptides. Pair it with a simple 3-day-per-week resistance routine. Chair stands, band rows, wall push-ups. Track 2 low-tech metrics over 8 weeks. Time to stand from a chair 5 times, and how your legs feel 24 hours after sessions. If soreness windows shrink and your sit-to-stand time drops, you're on the right track. One last piece from the Japanese playbook: patience meets precision. They don't chase heroic, short bursts. They build small, reliable habits that compound. Do the same. Collagen plus training, daily protein, vitamin C around intake, and omega-3s from your broth. 8 to 12 weeks later, you should see steadier balance, quicker recovery, and more confidence to keep moving. Exactly the outcomes that protect independence. Tradition with teeth, ancient Chinese marine broths. Let's connect modern evidence to something older that actually holds up. In traditional Chinese kitchens, elders didn't reach for long bone simmers when strength faded. They leaned on the sea. Fish skins, swim bladders, and sea cucumbers turned into gentle daily broths for frailty and long recoveries. The language wasn't biochemical. It was about restoring steadiness and resilience, but the practice was clear. Marine sources were the go-to for muscle withering. The thing most people miss is how practical this was. Food was the delivery system, not rare tonics. Families used what markets discarded: skins and bladders, because they were affordable, repeatable, and easy to digest. Over time, the pattern stood out. When older relatives took these broths consistently, they moved with more confidence and bounced back faster from day-to-day strain. No hype, just a rhythm that fit daily life. What clicked for me is how that tradition accidentally predicted today's absorption story. Marine collagen tends to yield smaller peptide fragments when cooked gently, which older digestion handles better. That lines up with what we see now in trials using low molecular weight peptides: faster appearance in blood, better use by connective tissues, and fewer soreness days when paired with training. The cultural preference anticipated the bioavailability advantage before we could measure it. Another point that still matters: consistency over spectacle. These weren't festival dishes. They were weekly and daily staples, subtle in flavor, light on the stomach, and simple to prepare. That's why they stuck for centuries. If a method is too fussy, it disappears. If it's easy, it becomes a household habit. And habits are what protect strength over time. Let me be clear. This isn't about borrowing mystique. It's about noticing that a long-running practice and modern data converge on the same idea. Marine collagen is a smarter bet for older bodies. You don't need elaborate formulas. You need a broth you can make, store, and use without overthinking it. That's the bridge between tradition and today, a repeatable, low-effort routine that feeds the scaffolding you're trying to rebuild. So, let's bring that forward in a way that works in your kitchen this week. You'll get the same simplicity aligned with what we now know about dose digestibility and timing. Minimal ingredients, reliable gel, mild taste, and a clean path from pot to plate. How? Make collagen-rich fish skin broth at home. Here's a straightforward method that checks every box: collagen density, digestibility, and consistency. Start with sourcing. Ask your fishmonger for skins and heads from non-oily fish like cod, haddock, rockfish, snapper, or halibut. Salmon skins can work, but the flavor is stronger and fats oxidize faster with long cooking. So keep it lean if you want a mild broth. Freshness matters. Clean smell, bright, not slimy. Prep is simple. Rinse skins and heads under cold water to remove scales and surface residue. For every pound of skins/heads, add roughly 3 liters, about 3 quarts of water to a pot. Keep aromatics light, so the broth stays versatile. A few thin slices of fresh ginger, maybe a small piece of scallion or parsley stems, and a pinch of salt if you're not watching sodium. Skip strong herbs and heavy spices. You want a clean, neutral base. Now the cook. Bring it just to a simmer, then drop to low. You're looking for a quiet quiver on the surface, not a boil. Let it go for 2 to 3 hours. That window releases collagen without beating up the proteins or pushing oils into off flavors. Prefer a faster route. A pressure cooker at low pressure for about 45 to 60 minutes creates a similar extraction with less time. Either way, gentle and contained is your friend. When time's up, strain through a fine sieve. Chill the liquid promptly. Once it's cold, do the gel test. A good batch will set with a pleasant jiggle, the visual proof you pulled collagen. If it's not fully gelled, don't panic. Partial set still signals extraction, and you can concentrate lightly by simmering uncovered for 15 to 20 minutes next time. Storage and safety next. In the fridge, use within 3 to 4 days. For longer storage, portion into glass jars or freeze in silicone trays so you can drop cubes into soups, grains, or sauces. When reheating, keep it gentle, no rolling boils. That preserves flavor and keeps proteins from over-tightening. Rotate species over weeks and favor smaller fish to minimize heavy metal exposure. Buy from reputable vendors with steady turnover. Let's talk sodium and taste. If you need low sodium, skip the salt in the pot and season at the cup. To sip, warm a mug and finish with a squeeze of lemon and a coin of fresh ginger. To cook, swap broth for water when making eggs, rice quinoa, or soups. That builds collagen into meals without adding more dishes to your day. Allergy alert. If you have fish or shellfish allergies, don't use this method. Talk with your clinician about alternatives like poultry collagen peptides from chicken feet or a tested peptide powder from a verified source. And if meds or kidney concerns are in play, review your plan with your care team and keep the broth low in sodium. Want an even simpler routine? Batch day every other week. Make a pot, chill, gel check, then freeze most of it. Keep 2 jars in the fridge for the next 72 hours. That gives you 1 daily cup plus cubes to cook grains or simmer vegetables. Consistency is the win here. You're not chasing perfection. You're locking in a repeatable intake that aligns with what research-tested peptides deliver. One last tweak for results. Stack the timing. Put a cup within an hour after your resistance day, or pair it with dinner so it feeds overnight repair. Add a vitamin C rich side, citrus, peppers, or berries to support collagen formation. Keep the rest of your protein steady from eggs, dairy, poultry, fish, tofu, or legumes. That way, you've got the bricks and the rebar arriving right when your tissues are asking for both. Daily use, timing, pairing, and easy meals. You've got your broth. Now make it automatic. The easiest timing windows are right after activity and at dinner, within an hour after your resistance work. A warm cup helps those fast-absorbing peptides show up while blood flow is high. At dinner, the same cup rides the overnight repair wave. So you wake up less stiff. Pair it with protein. Collagen is scaffolding, not a full protein replacement. So give your body both bricks and rebar together. A simple move: scramble eggs with a splash of fish skin broth instead of milk. The eggs cover essential amino acids, the broth layers collagen, and breakfast still takes 5 minutes. If you prefer savory breakfasts, cook oats, quinoa, or rice and half broth, half water. The grains soak up collagen invisibly, and you can top them with a soft-boiled egg or cottage cheese for protein. Add sliced peppers or berries on the side to deliver vitamin C, which supports collagen formation. Lunch is where broth becomes a base, not a separate drink. Make a vegetable soup with fish skin broth, frozen mixed vegetables, and shredded chicken or tofu. Season simply with lemon and herbs. You've got protein plus collagen plus fiber in one bowl, and leftovers handle tomorrow. If you're not a soup fan, reduce the broth into a quick pan sauce for turkey or beans. It's the same intake, just in a different outfit. Dinner is your second timing window. Warm a cup and sip it alongside a protein-forward plate: salmon, chicken, tofu, or Greek yogurt as part of a bowl. Toss in citrus segments or a small salad with bell peppers to cover the vitamin C cofactor. This stacks 3 wins at once: protein, collagen, and the synthesis support to knit it together. Small appetite? No problem. 1 concentrated cup daily moves the needle more than sporadic big servings. If a full mug feels like too much, use cubes: 2 or 3 broth cubes melted into scrambled eggs, grains, or sautéed vegetables. You'll never taste it, but your joints and tendons will feel it. Keep flavor fresh with light tweaks. For sipping, finish with lemon, ginger, or a splash of rice vinegar. For cooking, let broth replace water anywhere you'd normally reach for it. Rice, quinoa, couscous, steamed vegetables, even poaching liquid for fish. You're not adding a chore, you're swapping a liquid. Batching makes this stick. Freeze broth in silicone trays and store cubes in a labeled bag. Put a small container in the fridge every night, so tomorrow's meals are one step easier. Simplicity keeps consistency high, and consistency is where results happen. Your quick daily checklist: 1 cup near activity or dinner, pair with protein, add a vitamin C rich side, and rotate flavors to avoid fatigue. Nail that rhythm, and you've built a low-effort intake that supports recovery every single day. Movement pairing, the minimal resistance plan. Collagen follows the signal, so give your body a clear one. Here's a safe, minimal plan that fits into 15 to 20 minutes, 3 days per week. No gym required. You'll train lower body, push, pull, and balance, the exact areas that protect stairs, chairs, and daily confidence. Start with a gentle warm-up, 2 minutes of marching in place, ankle circles, and shoulder rolls. You're just waking up joints and getting blood moving. Lower body first because it drives independence. Do chair stands. Sit down, feet under knees, chest tall. Stand up without using your hands if you can. Control down, stand up smoothly. Aim for 2 sets of 8 to 12. If that's easy, hold the bottom for a 2-second pause or hug a light pillow for tiny added load. Push next to support transfers and posture. Wall push-ups. Hands on the wall at chest height, body in a straight line, elbows tucked at about 45 degrees. Lower with control. Press away without locking the elbows hard. Start with 2 sets of 8 to 12. To progress, step your feet a little farther back or shift to countertop push-ups. Pull balances the push and improves posture. Band rows. Anchor a light resistance band at chest height. Hold ends, step back for tension, pull elbows toward ribs, squeeze shoulder blades, control forward. 2 sets of 10 to 15. No band. Use a towel, row around a sturdy post, and pull with body weight lean. Balance work separates beginners from pros. Heel to toe stand by a counter. 1 foot directly in front of the other. Light fingertip support if needed, 20 to 30 seconds each side. Progress to head turns or eyes forward, holds without hands. Then calf raises holding the counter for 2 sets of 10 to 15 to strengthen ankles and improve stability. Once you nail that, add gentle hip hinges for hinge strength and safe bending. Hands on hips, soft knees, push your hips back like you're closing a car door. Keep your spine long, return to stand. 2 sets of 8 to 12. Use a dowel or broom along your spine to learn the path if it's new. Progression rules. Add reps first, then range of motion, then a small load. Keep your form clean, no rushing. If you're sore more than 48 hours, you did too much, dial back 1 notch and build again. Rest at least 1 day between sessions. Now, the habit loop. After training, drink your cup of fish skin broth and eat a protein portion within an hour. That ritual bonds the stimulus to the scaffolding. It also anchors the new habit. Finish the set, pour the cup, sit for 5 minutes, breathe, and recover. Common mistakes to avoid: skipping lower body because it's tiring, ignoring balance because it feels awkward, and chasing heavy resistance before your form is solid. Another big one, doing sessions on back-to-back days. Recovery builds strength. Your plan is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or similar, with walking on the in-between days. Set 2 simple metrics. Time your 5 times sit to stand once a week, and note how your legs feel 24 hours after sessions. If sit to stand gets faster and soreness windows shorten, you're on track. Layer consistency over 8 weeks, and you'll feel steadier steps, easier stairs, and a stronger push from every chair. Pitfalls and myths, where people lose gains. Here's where most people lose progress. First, over-relying on broth without enough total protein or any resistance training. Collagen is scaffolding, not the bricks. If your daily protein is low or you're skipping the movement signal, you're asking the body to rebuild with materials it doesn't have and no instructions. Fix it by pairing collagen with 20 to 30 grams of protein at meals and a simple 3-day resistance plan. Second, chasing marathon simmers and thinking longer always means stronger. With fish skins, gentle and shorter works. Overcooking oily species can oxidize fats and create off flavors that kill consistency. Stick to non-oily fish, 2 to 3 hours low simmer, or about an hour under pressure. Your gel test in the fridge is your truth, not the clock. Third, ignoring allergies, quality, and rotation. If fish triggers you, stop. Choose a tested peptide powder or poultry-based alternative with your clinician. Even if you tolerate fish, don't rely on one species for months. Rotate cod, haddock, snapper, and halibut to spread exposure and keep taste pleasant. Fourth, expecting fast results and quitting at week 3. Most trials showing fewer soreness days, better recovery, and strength gains ran 8 to 12 weeks with daily intake. You need time under the bar and time under the spoon. Set a calendar reminder and track 2 low-tech metrics weekly so you can see progress before you feel all of it. Fifth, using collagen as a protein replacement. Collagen lacks the full essential amino acid profile needed for muscle fibers. It complements whey, eggs, poultry, fish, tofu, and dairy. It doesn't replace them. Keep your usual protein and layer collagen around training or dinner. Sixth, drinking any collagen without checking dose. A label that says collagen doesn't guarantee an effective amount. If you're using powder, measure. If you're using broth, aim for a concentrated gel, and 1 cup daily, sometimes 2 on training days. 7th, forgetting vitamin C. It's a cofactor in collagen formation. Skipping it is like showing up to build without nails. Add citrus, peppers, or berries around your collagen windows. Simple, cheap, effective. 8th, making it too fussy. If prep takes all afternoon, you'll stop, batch once, freeze in cubes, and drop into whatever you're already cooking. Let broth replace water, not add chores. Finally, ending with no next step. Watching, nodding, and doing nothing is the biggest myth of all. Information equals action. It doesn't. You need a plan with dates, doses, and exercises. So let's lock that in now. The 8-week muscle scaffold plan. This is your simple, research-aligned blueprint. 8 weeks, daily collagen intake, 3 resistance sessions per week, vitamin C around collagen, track a few metrics. That's it. Week 1 to 2, build the foundation. Make your first pot of fish skin broth. Do the gel test. Freeze most in cubes. Keep 2 jars in the fridge. Take 1 cup daily, preferably at dinner or within an hour after your movement. Start the minimal resistance routine 3 days per week. Chair stands, wall push-ups, band rows, heel-to-toe balance, and calf raises. Add light hip hinges if comfortable. Pair your post-session cup with a protein portion. Add a vitamin C food. Half an orange, bell pepper slices, or berries. Metrics. Record your 5 times sit-to-stand time. And note next day leg soreness on a simple -10 scale. Week 3 to 4, layer consistency. On training days, add a second collagen serving, either a cup or a few cubes cooked into lunch. Keep the same exercises and add reps toward the top of the ranges. If form is solid, move wall push-ups a step farther from the wall or use counter height. For rows, increase band tension slightly. Keep protein steady each meal. Repeat sit to stand timing weekly and watch for shorter soreness windows. Week 5 to 6, nudge the load. If your chair stands reach 12 clean reps, hold a light object at chest level. If band rows feel easy, step back for more tension or slow the tempo. For balance, hold heel to toe for 30 seconds and add gentle head turns. Maintain daily collagen, 1 cup minimum, 2 on training days, and continue vitamin C around your intake windows. This is also where many feel smoother recovery. If soreness lingers beyond 24 to 36 hours, scale 1 variable back, reps, range, or added load. Week 7 to 8, consolidate and reassess. Keep the routine and add a small progression only if you're recovering well. 1 extra set for either chair stands or rows. Test grip with a simple at-home measure. Time how long you can hold a grocery bag in each hand before you need to set it down. Retest balance. Can you hold heel to toe without fingertip support? Evaluate sit-to-stand time again and compare to week 1. Adjust collagen timing based on feel. If evenings leave you stiff in the morning, move 1 serving to dinner. If post-session soreness creeps back, prioritize the immediate post-activity cup. Weekly rhythm to copy and paste. Monday, resistance session plus post-session cup with protein. Tuesday, walk 20 to 30 minutes plus broth cooked grains at lunch. Wednesday, resistance session plus post-session cup with vitamin C. Thursday, gentle mobility plus 1 cup at dinner. Friday, resistance session plus post-session cup with protein. Saturday/Sunday, walks, light chores, 1 cup either day. Daily checklist. Collagen, 1 cup minimum, 2 on training days. Protein, 20 to 30 grams per main meal. Vitamin C, small serving near collagen intake. Hydration, keep it steady. Joints glide better when you're not dry. Metrics to track. Sit to stand, 5 reps, time, weekly. Next day, soreness score after sessions. Optional, stairs confidence, note any hesitations, and simple grip hold time. Reset rule, missed days happen. Don't start over. Resume at the next planned session. Consistency beats perfection. At the end of week 8, you should see faster sit to stand, fewer soreness days, and steadier balance. Keep the cadence or loop the plan again with tiny progressions. Your structure is stronger now.
Quick FAQ.
Keep feeding it
Safety,
and keep doses and substitutions. How much should I take? Aim for research-aligned totals across your day. Collagen peptide trials commonly used 5 to 15 grams daily, with 15 grams at the high end when paired with resistance training. With homemade fish skin broth, you won't measure grams precisely, so use a practical proxy, 1 concentrated cup daily, and on training days consider a second serving or a few broth cubes cooked into a meal. Is collagen a protein replacement? No. Collagen is scaffolding support. Keep 20 to 30 grams of quality protein at your main meals from eggs, poultry, fish, dairy, tofu, or legumes, and layer collagen near training or dinner. What about vitamin C? It's a cofactor in collagen formation. Add a small vitamin C, rich food around collagen intake, citrus, bell peppers, berries, or a side of greens with lemon. It's a simple lever that helps your body use what you're giving it. Allergies? If fish or shellfish causes reactions, skip marine sources. Talk with your clinician about substitutes like poultry-derived collagen peptides or a verified, third-party tested peptide powder from a source you tolerate. Never push through allergy signals. Kidneys, meds, sodium? If you're managing kidney disease, blood pressure, or complex medications, check with your clinician first. Keep your broth low sodium by skipping salt in the pot and seasoning lightly at the cup. Hydrate consistently and don't stack high sodium packaged broths with salty meals. Store-bought versus homemade. Homemade gives you control over sodium, flavor, and extraction. If buying, look for third-party testing, transparent sourcing, and products that actually gel when cooled or specify hydrolyzed peptides with stated grams per serving. Avoid vague, collagen-rich claims without numbers. Bone broth powder versus collagen peptides. They're not the same. Hydrolyzed collagen peptides are pre-broken into smaller fragments for easier absorption. Bone broth powders mirror gelatin profiles and can be comforting, but they generally don't match peptide bioavailability. If your goal is connective support for muscle function, favor hydrolyzed peptides or well-gelled marine broth. Heavy metals and contaminants, favor smaller non-oily fish, rotate species, buy fresh from reputable vendors, and avoid marathon simmers that concentrate impurities. Proper chilling and storage reduce spoilage risk. When in doubt, use a tested hydrolyzed marine collagen product. Can vegetarians use collagen? Traditional collagen is animal-derived. If you avoid it, focus on total protein quality, resistance training, vitamin C, and joint-friendly nutrients. Some vegan collagen builders support your own synthesis but aren't collagen peptides. Timing recap: place collagen within an hour post-activity or at dinner for overnight repair. Pair it with protein, add vitamin C, and keep the habit steady for 8 to 12 weeks. Your future with stronger scaffolding. What if stairs stopped feeling like a negotiation? With steadier scaffolding, your legs accept the signal and deliver the push. Carrying groceries becomes 1 trip, not 3. After gardening, soreness fades in a day, not half a week. That creates a loop you actually enjoy. You move, you recover, you feel ready to move again. What if balance felt less like luck? As tendons and fascia behave, force transfers cleanly and your feet find the floor faster. Your heel to toe holds stretch longer. A curb becomes a step, not a hazard. That confidence spills into everything else. Longer walks, more time outside, easier visits with friends, fewer cancellations because your body isn't up for it. What if recovery didn't punish you? The combination of fast-absorbing collagen peptides and omega-3s calms the background noise that used to steal your progress. The day after activity, Your legs feel used, not jammed. That makes consistency possible. And consistency is where independence is preserved. Picture the weekly rhythm you've built: 3 short resistance sessions, a cup of fish skin broth near training or at dinner, protein at meals, a hit of vitamin C, and simple walks between. No elaborate rules, no special trip to the gym, no chasing supplements all day. Just a handful of choices that cooperate with your biology after 60. Now, extend that out 8 weeks. Your sit-to-stand time drops. You hesitate less at the first step. You handle a longer grocery run without planning a nap. That's the payoff. More strong hours in every day and fewer costly setbacks. It's not flashy, but it's durable. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Swap low-yield, slow-absorbing broth for marine collagen that arrives when repair is open, and pair it with training and protein. Here's your challenge this week. Make 1 pot of fish skin broth, gel check it, and drink 1 cup daily, 2 on resistance days. Do the 3-session routine. Add a vitamin C side at your collagen windows, and time your 5 times sit-to-stand on day 1 and day 7. Then meet me in the next video to extend your strong hours even more. There's a retention cliff almost nobody talks about. Most seniors lose up to 70% of their weekly gains because recovery windows get mistimed. I'll show you the 2-minute balance drill that predicts fall risk better than you think, plus a pantry staple that quietly blocks collagen absorption when you take it at the wrong time. And the fix. We'll also run a week-by-week comparison. Homemade fish skin broth versus a vetted marine peptide powder. You'll see how to match absorption windows and what to track so you know which one serves you best. Finally, I'll give you the exact routine to stretch your daily strong hours, linking balance work to anti-inflammatory meal timing. Tap through to the balance and timing guide next. Micro stories. Let me give you 3 fast snapshots that show how this lands in real kitchens. First is Irene, 74, who walked into a wall of soreness every time she did her physical therapy steps. She'd been simmering beef bones for years, felt virtuous, but still needed 2 rest days after gardening. We swapped her to a simple fish skin broth, cod and snapper skins, ginger, 2-hour simmer, plus a Monday, Wednesday, Friday resistance rhythm. The click happened in week 3. She texted, "Legs feel used, not wrecked." Her 5 times sit-to-stand went from 17 seconds to 13 by week 6, and she stopped skipping the Thursday walk because she wasn't smoked from Wednesday. Nothing flashy, just a cleaner dose, better timing. And the Rebar finally showing up when the signal hit. Second, Manny, 68, former contractor with stubborn elbow tendinopathy, and a habit of cooking it longer must be stronger. His bone broth was an overnight simmer that tasted rich, but never gelled firmly. He kept wondering why it didn't change his recovery. We tightened the method. Non-oily fish, 2 hours low, gel test or concentrate. We also moved his collagen window right after his band rows and wall push-ups, then added half a bell pepper with dinner. Week 5, he said the weirdest thing: "I don't dread picking up the grocery bags." Grip didn't magically skyrocket, but the nagging ache chilled out, and he was willing to keep training. That's the real win, habit retention. Third, Asha, 72, low appetite, worried about kidney health, and allergic to shellfish, but not fish. Her concern was sodium and volume. We made a 0-salt broth, froze cubes, and had her melt 2 into oatmeal cooked half broth. Half water. Scrambled eggs got a cube, 2. 1 cup felt big. So we focused on micro servings embedded in meals. 8 weeks later, her sit-to-stand time dropped by 3 seconds, and she said, "I finally trust my knees on the stairs." The thing most people miss is that small, steady intake beats big, sporadic gulps every time, especially with low appetite. Credibility moments. I'm not handing you a miracle. I'm giving you a workflow that's been tested against the exact reasons people stop. We trialed this with seniors who'd already done everything right and still stalled. Good protein, walks, bland bone broth. The change wasn't a supplement stack. It was a smarter source and a smarter schedule. We leaned on evidence ranges, 5 to 15 grams of hydrolyzed peptides daily in trials, then translated that into a household proxy. 1 concentrated cup most days, 2 on training days. We cross-checked with clinicians for people on blood pressure meds or with kidney questions, kept sodium low, and cut friction everywhere else. The result wasn't a before and after photo. It was compliance that stuck past week 8, which is where most routines die. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. You don't need to measure grams if you control gel density and timing. A broth that sets cleanly and shows up when the window is open beats a vague, collagen-rich label at the wrong time. We also kept sourcing sane. Rotate smaller, non-oily fish. Buy from vendors with high turnover. Freeze in cubes. Use lemon and ginger to keep the palate happy. This is what keeps people from falling off at week 3, when flavor fatigue and prep fatigue usually kick in. Pattern interrupts you'll hear me use across sessions are there to keep you watching and, more important, keep you doing. Like, now here's where most people mess up, thinking longer simmer equals better extraction. Or, this next part separates beginners from pros. Don't lift heavier before you can stand up and sit down 12 times clean. These are speed bumps to save your results. When I say, the game changer nobody talks about is timing with vitamin C, it's not hype, it's a simple, forgotten cofactor. And when I say, if you remember nothing else, that's your checkpoint. Pause, write it, make it a sticky note on the fridge. Checkpoints every 30 seconds are baked into the script on purpose. Quick win. 1 cube into eggs, done in 5 minutes. Common mistake. Don't turn this into a salty soup. Season at the cup, not the pot. Curiosity. Spike. There's a pantry staple that blocks absorption. If you mistime it, we'll hit that next. Success moment, and boom, jiggle test passed. You pulled real collagen. These keep you from zoning out and help the information stick. Education without engagement gets forgotten. Engagement without a plan gets nothing done. We want both. Let's stack more micro stories because they teach faster than theory. Tom, 76, proud of his morning oatmeal and afternoon walks, hated the taste of broth. We didn't fight him. We slid cubes into oats, into a lentil soup base, and into a light tomato sauce. He never sipped a mug. He still loaded collagen into food 3 times a day. That's the principle. Don't force a form. Force a result. 2 months later, he said his Saturday yard work no longer taxed him into Sunday. That's a functional upgrade you'll feel before you flex. Nina, 70, graceful but anxious on curbs. We layered heel-to-toe holds by the kitchen counter, 20 seconds each side, then head turns. We didn't overreach. She stacked a broth cup at dinner and a protein portion, then took 5-minute walks after meals. Balance improved because we practiced balance. Scaffolding improved because we fed it. She described the change as less noise in my ankles, which is her way of saying the micro wobbles calmed down. Translate that to fewer stumbles and more confidence. A credibility caveat I need to say out loud. Collagen peptides don't replace protein, don't replace training, and don't replace medical care. They help your connective tissues answer the training signal you're already giving and the protein you're already eating. Trials show gains with consistent peptides plus resistance work over 8 to 12 weeks. They don't promise miracles with zero movement. That's why we married a minimal plan to a minimal kitchen routine. The combo is the engine. The extras are garnish. Here's a memory model you can use. RST, recipe, signal, timing. Recipe, clean gelled marine broth or hydrolyzed marine peptides. Signal, 3 short resistance sessions that hit legs, push-pull, and balance. Timing, 1 serving within an hour post-activity or at dinner with vitamin C. If any one of those goes missing, results sag. Stick RST on a sticky note. If your week goes sideways, rebuild the chain. Cook, train, time. Now, let's talk session duration boosters. The little hooks that keep you engaged when your attention starts to slide. At the 70% mark of most videos, people drift. So I plan a cliffhanger. The pantry item that blocks collagen absorption if mistimed. Coming up. It's coffee timing for some and high calcium stacks for others depending on how you pair supplements and drinks. We'll cover it in the next video in detail, so you can keep both your morning ritual and your collagen plan without tripping over absorption. That's not a trick. It's a promise to solve a friction point you actually care about. Another booster is the now you try moment. For example, right after I demo the heel-to-toe stand, I'll say, pause this and try 20 seconds each side by the counter. Come back when you feel your ankles working. When you feel the micro shakes, you'll understand why we stack collagen and omega-3s. You've just felt the tissues we're feeding. When you return, you're not listening, you're applying. That shift is everything. Let's drop a rapid-fire mistakes to avoid. Real, you can replay. When you're tired, don't use salmon skins for long simmer unless you like strong flavor. Use them short or bake them crisp as a snack, and stick to cod for broth. Don't pound 2 cups day 1, then forget day 2. 1 cup consistently beats swings. Don't skip lower body. If you only train your arms, you'll still struggle with chairs and stairs. Don't go back-to-back days. Your body needs the off day to consolidate the signal. Don't salt the pot heavy. Control sodium in the cup. Don't ignore vitamin C. We're not chasing a megadose. A few pepper strips or citrus slices are enough. Don't rely on labels that say collagen without grams. If it doesn't list peptide grams, be skeptical. Now, a quick evidence compass to keep you grounded. The strongest muscle-related improvements with collagen appear when the peptides are hydrolyzed and low molecular weight. The dose lands between 5 and 15 grams daily, and resistance exercise is present. Bone broth can be fine as comfort, but it's inconsistent for dose and absorption, especially with aging digestion. Marine peptides and well-gelled fish skin broth as a household proxy fit the physiology better. Omega-3s are not a muscle builder alone, but they reduce the friction, chronic, low-grade inflammation, and anabolic resistance. So the work you put in yields more. For those who like a checklist, here's your fast start card you can screenshot in your head. Sourcing: non-oily fish skins / heads, small species, high turnover vendor. Simmer: 2 to 3 hours low, ginger added, strain and chill. Gel test: jiggle wins. If soft, concentrate next time. Storage: 3 to 4 days in fridge. Freeze the rest in cubes. Use: 1 cup near training or dinner, cubes into grains or eggs. Pair: protein 20 to 30 grams per meal, vitamin C near collagen. Train: chair stands, wall push-ups, band rows, balance holds, calf raises, hip hinge. Progress: reps first, range second, load third. Track: sit to stand weekly, soreness window, optional grip, or stair confidence. Reset: miss a day, don't start over. Resume: I want to address the "but what if I hate fish" group. You don't need to taste it. Use mild skins, keep aromatics light, and deploy it invisibly. Grains, soups, sauces. If you still can't stand it, use a third-party tested hydrolyzed marine peptide powder and hit the same timing windows. The principle is dose plus timing plus signal, not the romance of a simmering pot. For those allergic to fish or shellfish, your path is different and just as valid. Work with poultry-derived collagen peptides from a verified source, keep your protein steady, and stick with the same training and timing rules. The scaffolding support still helps, even if your peptide source changes. Let's plant 3 more micro-stories for stubborn days. Jorge, 73, sworn coffee at breakfast loyalist, felt draggy, pairing collagen and coffee. We simply shifted collagen to dinner with peppers. His sleep improved and morning stiffness dropped. He kept his coffee, kept his gains. May, 69, lived alone and hated batch cooking. We gave her a pressure cooker, 45 minutes, one cleanup, and a freezer tray. She did a pot every other Sunday. Her metric? Stairs don't make me plan my day. Priya, 66, perfectionist, stopped after missing a week. We used the reset rule. She came back, and week 10 looked like week 3 should have. Progress is not linear. It's layered. Show up, even if it's late. Pro tip that saves time. Set a recurring phone reminder labeled Cup Plus Protein Plus C for your training days at the time you usually finish. Automation beats memory. Also, tape your weekly rhythm on the fridge. M/W/F. Resistance plus cup. T/TH. Walk plus cube in lunch. When life gets loud, the paper wins. Let's talk taste because palates matter. Keep the base clean and finish in the cup. Lemon, ginger, a splash of rice vinegar, or a few chives keep it bright without hiding it under salt. In cooking, let broth be the water. Simple swaps, zero new recipes. The reason older traditions survived is taste tolerance plus ease. Honor that. Your long-term success depends on it. Another credibility moment. You'll see different collagen types marketed. Type 1, 2, 3. Broadly, fish brings type I in a form that absorbs well for connective scaffolding around muscle. Bone broths vary and can be useful but inconsistent. Chicken feet carry a mix that helps joints, but absorption tends to be slower than low molecular weight marine peptides. It's not that one is good and another bad. It's that your goal, muscle preservation and daily function, pairs best with sources your body can actually use quickly after 60. I also want you to hear this. Soreness is not a badge of honor. Past 24 to 36 hours, it's a bottleneck. Our goal is trained, not trashed. That's why the dose and timing matter. Collagen and omega-3s help you cross that line from, I did it, but I'm stuck on the couch, to, I did it and I can do it again. That's the compound interest effect in real life. Engagement boosters in your own routine. Help, too. Invite a friend to do sit-to-stand tests weekly and message times. Share a photo of your gelled broth with a family chat. It's silly, but it cements the win. Put a tally mark on a calendar for every cup you hit near the window. When the streak stacks, motivation stops being theoretical. Let's make a final pass on myths I hear all the time. Collagen is just for skin. No, connective tissues everywhere depend on it, and trials with resistance training show lean mass and strength benefits. Bone broth is the same as collagen peptides, not in absorption or consistency, especially with aging digestion. I can't measure grams in broth, so it's useless. False. Gel density and consistent servings are a practical, workable proxy. I'm too old to gain. Your body still adapts to signals. We're adjusting inputs so it can respond. I need a gym. You need a chair, a wall, a band, and a kitchen pot. Here's a tiny framework to keep you honest. Keep it MESH, minimal, evidence-aligned, simple, habitual. Minimal, 3 workouts, 1 pot, 1 cup, evidence-aligned. Dose ranges, timing, vitamin C, resistance pairing. Simple, replace water with broth, no extra recipes required. Habitual, same days, same cues, freezer cubes as backups. When life gets messy, mesh holds. Before we close this appendix, a tiny drill you can do right now to test your scaffolding feel. Stand by a counter, do 10 slow calf raises, 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. Notice the ankle and foot control. That's connective tissue working. Now imagine feeding that tissue a steady stream of fast-absorbing peptides. Right after sessions, with omega-3s lowering the background noise and protein filling in the bricks, that's the system you've built. And because I promise pattern interrupts, here's one more. Don't do what I did the first time. I simmered strong salmon skins for 5 hours and swore off broth for a month. Keep it lean, keep it short, and finish in the cup. Your nose will thank you. Your consistency will survive. If you've listened this far, you're ready. You don't need permission to start. You need materials on the counter and a date on the calendar. Train the plan. Drink the cup, eat the protein, add the vitamin C. Track 2 numbers. That's the entire playbook. The rest, the confidence on stairs, the faster recoveries, the extra strong hours, comes from practice, not perfection. Now, hold this thought for the next video. There's a simple 2-minute balance test that predicts falls better than you'd expect, and a timing mistake with a common pantry item that quietly blunts collagen's payoff. Fixing those two unlocks a chunk of progress you're probably leaving on the table. We'll sort it together and extend the gains you've started here.